without having a PA, if someone with a learning disability, could take you back to days where people were just in institutions, they weren't out in the community, they weren't out doing things that they really wanted to do. So I think PAs can make a vital difference in actually encouraging people to try new things, do new activities, and also just improve their independent skills as well, in terms of actually being able to do things for themselves and not having to constantly rely on other people. But obviously this is all about the quality of the PA and how good they are to allow the individual to do that.
What the PA will need to do is to find out as much as they can about that person and their communication needs from the people that know that person really well. Over time, the PA may find that once they've formed that relationship with that person, that they have their own means of communicating with them.
When you're communicating with people with a learning disability, it's very important to try and learn their form of communication. For some people that will be just speaking as you would to anybody else, but maybe slowing things down or trying to phrase things in a way that they will understand. How do the parents communicate with them? How do they communicate at college? But equally being aware that you're not going to be able to communicate necessarily with them like other people can straight away. It may take some time for you to develop that friendship as well.
Learning, for example, that someone may need to have a certain routine before they can move on to do another task, and that can really push your patience. And if someone isn't able to verbalise that, and you're in a hurry, you need to know that actually you need to build some timing into your planning. So if you want to leave the house, for example, and you do things in a rush, and the individual, perhaps my son William, needs to have a little routine before he does that, you will never leave the house.
A PA can promote independence with your employer by allowing them time to do things and also working on the skills that they want to improve. So, for example, if one of the reasons they wanted a PA is to improve their cooking skills, it's not to do all the cooking for them, but to understand that they need to work with them to learn those new skills.
My son doesn't want to have someone to care for him. He wants to have someone to facilitate his independence. And William feels so fantastic when he's been out. He's got 3 or 4 buses on his own, and he's learnt that being with Ashley. William feels so proud of himself, as any non-disabled person would, at achieving something like that.
Often in their life they've been told by other people what to do, and they expect to be led rather than them leading. So as a good PA, you can be proactive in giving them the skills to actually be able to lead a situation. And it's important that the person with a learning disability picks a personal assistant who has, especially if you're doing social activities, the same interests as them, the same kind of lifestyle as them. Because if you really like the football, you really like sporting things, then you really want a PA probably who has those same interests.
Safety is key in terms of the role of a personal assistant. This is where the PA will need to know as much as they can about the person, say, before they're able to take them out, support them within the community.
Do see beyond their disability. Do get to know the impact of their disability. So, for example, with my son, you may ask him a question, but he may not necessarily be able to formulate an answer. So, as a PA, you would need to be able to understand that. So you would know how to set a question for him to get the best out of him. Don't hold them by the arm. Don't speak over them. Don't speak about them in front of them.
Listen to that person, respect their views, take into account of the things they want to do. Don't try and make decisions for that person. But also basically treating them like you would treat anybody else. And be yourself is the most important thing. Some of the don'ts would be, don't patronise them. Don't think you know what's best for them. Don't think that they can't think for themselves and make their own decisions. And don't think that they're necessarily the person that other people have been telling you they are, because you may develop a different relationship from them from the way the parents may say they are or other people involved in their life.
The attributes that somebody with a learning disability would be looking for would be attributes like compassion, trust, loyalty, commitment, interest, complete interest in the person, understanding of the person's needs and the complexities of their disability. it's almost somebody who will make a stake in that person's life.
He takes him into areas of music that he's never listened to. He takes him to a snooker hall, he's taken him to cricket matches, he's introduced him to fishing. They go out in the pouring rain, get soaking wet, they muck around. So they're all the fun things, but he's also taken William very seriously and sorted his personal budget out with him, and made him sort his room out, introduced him to cooking. He's just a great guy.
A PA who's working with somebody with a learning disability will often have decided, will have chosen to work in that field, will have read a job description, will have read a support plan, will have sat down with a family, will have sat down with that person. They'll know the key issues around that person's life, the difficulties that they're having.
Working with someone with a learning disability is like working with anybody else in terms of that they're still a person or individual with their own mind and their own choices. It just may take a little longer to totally understand what they want.
Having a PA has helped me enormously. It has taken me away from feeling that William's lonely. It has taken the responsibility of me having to do these activities, and it's not right of a woman my age or anyone's mother to be with them doing these activities. It's just taken a huge amount of anxiety knowing that William is having fun, learning all these new things, as I said, being taken out of his comfort zone. Yeah, it's been amazing. And in fact, it's not until you don't have one do you realise how fantastic it is having one.